Hey, let's talk about games. Hello guys and girls, it's Hydra here. Welcome back. Today I want to talk to you briefly about Gladius Relics of War, one of the 40k turn-based strategy games that's just been announced. And it's going to be coming at some point in the future, no release date yet. This video is going to be a little bit of an explainer as to what we know from the Steam page, from the footage thus far. You can see the trailer in the background here, aesthetically looking pretty good. Now it's being developed by Proxy Studios. They are the makers of a Pandora game, which was, it had fairly positive reviews. Not a very well-known game, but you can find it in Steam now for about £3.50 or such. Not particularly expensive. The publisher is the same that did Sanctus Reach, and these guys have done lots and lots of RTS games, so very, very familiar with this. So Sanctus Reach, fairly, went down fairly well, but different developer for this game. Now, this game is set on one planet. We know it has 4 factions: Orks, Space Marines, Necrons, and the formerly known as Imperial Guard. I will still call them that, but they are the Astra blah 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 now. The world is going to be randomly generated, and we know the campaign is going to have some aspects of that. It's going to be a tile-based, turn-based game. So by that, if you've not played this before, typically you have sort of your movement squares as sort of the limiting how far you can move, and what actions you can do will be based on this sort of like range system. It's not a bad system if you like this type of thing, but for those of you that like real-time games like Dawn of War, it is a very, very different game. Much more chilled, I always find, for games like this. Much more chilled, you can sit back, enjoy, think a little bit. But there is mention that within the multiplayer mode, there will be lots of players allowable. So I've heard mention of up to 8, although I haven't actually seen this figure confirmed myself. But there is mention that this is going to be more of a real-time system. Now, there's no comments on how this is going to work, but I presume it's going to be something like all 8 players stack up their orders and then click, off you go, or maybe you'll get a certain amount of turns every certain amount of time. It's hard to say how they're going to fix this all in, but it could be really interesting to have up to 8 people on a map all trying to sort of fight for power, etc. 4v4, there's not many games that allow for this type of experience within Warhammer at the moment, so it's pretty exciting. Now, as well as this, we know we're going to be able to construct cities as well. There's going to be some form of base building and resource management, although we're not sure if that's just in the overall campaign or if that's actually going to factor into the battles as well. It's worded in a way that seems to imply that you're going to build up your army in sort of like an eco-management mode, and then you're going to send the army off into the battle. But it may well be the case that you can actually provide reinforcements by doing base building resource management while on missions, which is something you don't normally get in, well, in some turn-based games. So that could be a nice thing to see as well. Now, they do promise that each one of these factions is going to play very, very different from the others. So we can only hope that the gameplay is fairly unique when playing each of these 4 factions. It's an interesting choice, not going for the token elder. They always seem to appear in every sort of RTS game. Instead, they sort of replace them with a Necron, which I think is a good move. I mean, you need like a token villain. Not having Chaos is an interesting choice, but then Orc, Space Marine, Necron, Imperial Guard, I mean, they've got plenty of room for expansions in the future if needs be. There's also mention of hero units that you can upgrade with relics and have some form of experience and progression system. No more details on that, but that's what this game sort of seems to entail at the moment. We're going to get a bit of preview footage on the 1st of December next week, so I'll give you guys a little rundown of that as to what you can expect. But I think this is going to be something to keep an eye on. See what you think of it. It's not going to be a game for everyone. Turn-based is a bit of a niche, and tile-based is also a bit of a niche, so it's one of those things. If you like that type of game, maybe this is worth looking into. If you're not, well, I'll do some reviews for you, let you know how it's shaping up, and keep your guys up to date. Stay tuned, we've got the Martyr patch coming at you soon. We've got the Vermintide content as well next week. So much about to happen, as well as a little bit of Necromunda footage too, from the tabletop, that is. Guys and girls, I'll see you next week. Have yourself a great weekend. Let me know what you think of this down in the comments below.